Hello everyone, this is Ellie of Herbcraft by Ellie Apothecary. Welcome to another intentional black screen ASMR tarot quest and channeled message for the collective, which is a timeless message. If you'd like to skip ahead to the primary read, go ahead and check out the description box and click the timestamp. Otherwise, welcome for the journey. I am a psychic medium empath who also happens to be a professional astrologer and herbalist, in case you were wondering about the apothecary title. I'm just doing a pre-shuffle here with the Cosmic Tarot. We're going to have a little tarot quest, which is a long form message. I do cut all my messages down to shorter form separate readings, and I tend to produce those and publish them within a week of these long form reads. So if you don't have the patience or time to listen to this entire collective message, tap the notification bell when you subscribe and you'll be notified when I get those up. I also keep a pretty consistent blog with the community page for the channel, so feel free to check that out. Be able to stay in touch and know what's going on with the content and just interesting things I want to share. So we may do some channeled messages and oracle near the end. Today the moon is in Aquarius, and I mentioned the current astrology just to let you know what energy we're working with today. So Aquarius is the 11th sign of the zodiac. Currently, Pluto, the planet of transformation, is in Aquarius and will be for many, many years. I'm sure a lot of you have heard about this cosmic event. So we could be talking about transformative energies today. We'll see. We'll see what comes out. Spirit's got a lot to say. We may just hop into this reading today. Thank you if you like this video. I really appreciate the community engagement, and feel free to drop an emoji of your choosing in the comments if at any point you want to claim this reading as yours. Not everything will resonate, so leave what doesn't behind. And if any synchronicities stand out to you that I call or you notice on your own, that means this reading might be more for you, and to pay closer attention. All the links you could possibly desire in the description box, along with a short description of this reading. See if you want to stay engaged, get the vibe. And you can also book with me or network with me through my links in the description box. Anyways, I just want to welcome all my new subscribers. We had a really nice incremental growth in this spiritual community in the last week. One of my videos seemed to really hit it off with everyone. If you're curious in which one that is, it is the "You both fought through the trials to become divine." I think we're at over 900 something views or something, and as a small YouTuber, that was quite an accomplishment for me. So thank you to everyone who enjoyed that message. And of course, I always link the long form versions of all shorter form reads in the description box as well, and the last couple readings we had, in case there is a similar vibe that you seem to resonate with on it. Alright, I think that's most of the introductions. Let's just kick back, enjoy ourselves. I made myself tea from the shop. Just a conglomerate of herbs and spices. Let me know if you enjoy tea or coffee. How you like to kick back. Feel free to engage. Otherwise, enjoy. Let's get into this. So I was shuffling the Cosmic Tarot. And again, for those of you that don't know, I do share the primary cards in a picture on the community blog when I publish the content. So if you want to see the cards, they're typically over there. And I cross-post that on Instagram and Pinterest. So there's multiple different areas you can find extensions of this reading too. Not like an extended reading, though I will be doing those in the future. We'll see. Alright, so something interesting happened when I was shuffling right before this recording started. First of all, we have a lot of fire on the table. Okay, I'll just say that. I was shuffling, and the first card to spit itself out is Seven of Wands. Interesting. One of the cards that came out earlier switched places with the second card, so that's significant. Second card is Six of Wands. I was continuing to shuffle, and I had just straightened my cards out, so they were all in the right position, upright, and I started to shuffle them, and then I noticed one card was face up, and that was the Princess of Wands. And then as I continued to shuffle, I pulled the Nine of Wands. I do mention every card, that way y'all don't miss a thing for those of you that know how to read cards and energy. I hope you'll find your own messages if you read between the lines of these readings. Okay? So yeah, the Nine of Wands was there, and then I'm continuing, and I start going through my cards to be like, why are some of these face up? This is really strange. And then I come across two more cards, and it is the Justice card and the Four of Cups. So I was going through my cards, and then there was one more that came out, which was the Prince of Wands, or the Knight of Wands. And then I pulled the Two of Wands. Okay. So then as we've been talking, I pulled after that the Five of Cups. We're just doing an intuitive read here, not a particular spread, but I do work in rows. So next to the Five of Cups is the King of Pentacles, the Sun. Then we have the Queen of Pentacles, and after that I pulled the King of Wands and the Hermit. We've got a lot of people in this reading. I touch on multiple groups in the collective, and yet again, all my messages are timeless. Feel free to check out my Divine With Me playlist, which has all of the collective readings in it, long and short form. And if you like the music at any point, which by the way I do use to divine, if you like the music, check out my Spotify profile, also linked in the description box. And give me a follow if you'd like. I do not create music on there, but I do create a lot of cultivated music playlists. I'm a big music fan, and I like to create an atmosphere, so I hope you'll enjoy that. This playlist is also called Divine With Me, just like the YouTube Tarot playlist. Alright, so for those of you that are still here, that didn't leave, welcome, welcome. Thank you to everybody who's already been a part of the community. Let me just take a look at these cards and we'll hop in, alright? Everybody take a deep breath for me if you can. I'm going to chime my bell in 3, 2, 1. Deep breath in. And out. Bell. Alright. Something has been protected, something that you were already victorious over. Again, this could be any energy in the collective, this could be about you, this could be about somebody else. And again, remember, for those of you that are familiar with tarot, gender doesn't matter in tarot. I will speak on masculine, feminine energies, only apply it how it fits. We all go through different energies, so apply the energy of the card to particularly your story or somebody else's, however it fits, okay? Yeah, so somebody's been protecting or defending or working on some kind of defense possibly to protect something that you fought really hard for to be successful in before. It's something that you're known for in some way. But you're taking that to a new level here with the Princess of Wands. There's some kind of message you have to talk about, speak on. Here with the Nine of Wounds, I feel like it has 9 of Wounds. Wow, that was interesting. The 9 of Wands. Well, this card does rule the wounded warrior, so to speak, but wow, that was interesting. The 9 of Wounds. Well, 9 is a number of graduating out of, so if anybody is feeling wounded, you are definitely coming out of it. It's been a really long battle for you. It seems like you've been fighting for some kind of justice and equality in your life. Something that maybe you felt like wasn't going to happen, or you felt like just wasn't coming, and you've kind of been distracted and pulled back from it. But you're back on your feet again here as the Prince of Wands. There's some kind of quest that you're on, some higher mission. For some of you, this is a very spiritual journey. Something that's led you to a crossroads, a decision to be made. You're planning, you're deciding, do I want to go this way or do I want to go that way? Where is the journey taking me? But it seems like whatever you fought for in the past that you're seeking justice on, it's made you really sad. It's made you feel really defeated. But it's also made you very prosperous. You are very stable because of it, with the King of Pentacles next to the Five of Cups. And also, you are finding happiness again here with the Sun. You have found something to be grateful for. Something has been illuminated for you. Something has been healed. This is some kind of wish fulfillment that you're working towards here. Next to that, we have the Queen of Pentacles. So right off the bat, we do have a divine counterpart pair here. The King and Queen of Pentacles are earthy, grounded energies that are very stable and secure in life, usually have a lot of wealth, whether it's in the physical or the spiritual, or both. I mean, typically if you're stable and secure, you have both. You have a balance between the mundane and the mystical, right? That's my shop tagline, from the mundane to the mystical, right? So I feel like for some of you, this King of Pentacles represents you. For some of you, you are the Queen of Pentacles. Again, flip the gender how it fits, and remember that we all go through phases of different aspects of ourselves. So either one could apply to you. It's more about the traits, not necessarily the stereotype. Does that make sense? Hope so. So over here we have the King of Wands as well. This is a very passionate leader. This is a very fiery individual. It's above the Hermit card here. Someone has been working on their skills. Been kept away for a while. I feel like this is multiple people here in the collective or group, because what blew my mind was how much fire was just coming out. I mean, the Seven of Wands, the Six of Wands, the Princess of Wands, the Nine of Wands, the Prince of Wands, the Two of Wands, the King of Wands. The only part of this family energy of this fiery court is the Queen of Wands is missing. She might come out later, we'll see. So there's a very passionate group of people here. I feel like this is more than one energy I'm speaking on right now. And then we also have this grounded energy down here with the King and Queen of Pentacles. This could also represent being in balance with your masculine and feminine sides. If so, you are most likely a divine being not just masculine or feminine, but divine. We've talked about that in a few of the other readings. Let's see what else comes out here to give a little more information on what this group is about, this fiery group here, Spirit. What do you want to tell us about that? The Eight of Wands. Wow, more fire. What do you know? Wow. Okay, well, this is quick communication or travel. Something is moving forward very quickly here with all this fire. Seven of Cups. What about this Seven of Cups, Spirit? The Hierophant. What about this Hierophant? The Nine of Cups. There's a lot of options here when it comes to leadership. Some kind of system being put into place, and everybody in the group is kind of thinking about how it can be personal wish fulfillment for everybody. So for some of you, I'm picking up there could be some kind of vote as to leadership with this group, whatever this has to do. Some kind of passion project or form of defense. I'm hearing for some of you, this could represent a form of defense, whether that be spiritual or mundane matters. I can't say without tapping into specific energies and doing personal readings. This is a collective reading, so we're going to be kind of broad here, especially since we have a lot more energy in this community. But I'm picking up on that, whatever your group may be, or this, it looks like there's 3 to 5 people involved in this, and possibly this King and Queen of Pentacles could be involved as well. We'll see. We'll tap into that in a moment. So, Spirit, tell me a little bit more about what is the general consensus on the qualities of wish fulfillment for this group? The Star. Wow. Okay. Well, it could be a healer. Maybe you are looking for a healer to lead this spiritual group, or you are looking for somebody to fulfill a certain role and shine their light and lead others through this conquest, whatever this may be. If this has to do with the form of defense, this could be about somebody in the public eye who can represent your cause in a way that is evolved, higher intelligence, but also a person for the people, I'm hearing. I sense this could do with politics, government, or military specifically, and I don't typically tap into those energies, so that's specific for some. For others, I feel like this is a spiritual group. This is somebody you're looking to guide and lead others and help heal the collective, I am hearing. Okay, so get an idea. Do either of these groups have any idea on who this person is, or this solution of this leadership? What can you tell us more about this, Spirit? The Two of Pentacles. Well, there's a choice between two. There's 2 contenders for this position, whatever this is in regards to. You seem to be weighing the pros and cons. There's obviously a few people talking about this possibility. I'm curious, Spirit, is this a new group or is this one that's already established? Wheel of Fortune. This is a new karmic cycle. This is something very fortunate, prosperous, and something that has taken its time with divine timing to form. So I'm going to say this is most likely a new group for most of you, but some of you may I get the sense that the people that are discussing this option, whatever this is in regards to, is already, at least 3 of you know each other, maybe 4, and the 5th one is more of an outside party, and there are other people that want to be involved, but you haven't decided to rope them in yet. That will be applied to some, but not to others. For other people, Spirit, for other groups in the collective, give us another card here. Is this a new group, or is this a coexisting group, or is this a reintegration and a new form of a new group? What is this? The 2 of Cups. For some of you, you're just working with Spirit. I sense that some of you could be in a coven. I am a non-denominational channel, but I do have a pagan background. So, you know, if you don't like that, thank you for visiting and have a great day. If you don't care, awesome, let's keep going. So, 2 of Cups usually represents unity, usually a soulmate connection. So for some of you in this group, because we're applying it to multiple people, some of you are soul family, soul tribe. I'm not saying any of you are specifically romantic soulmates, but you're definitely all soul family in this spiritual group we're talking about. So we have 2 groups here. We have the spiritual, and then we have this quasi-mundane potential government, public figure, military, or some kind of other systematic project or group, we'll say. Okay. And I'm not going to tap in specifically to that group. If it is of some kind of official authority, I'm not interested in playing with fire today, even though we got a heck of a lot of it on the table, yeah? Cool. So, 2 of Cups usually represents unity with self, other, or spirit. So, for me, that tells me, especially with all the fire energy, which represents spirit, that y'all could be in a coven. You could also be in a spiritual group. You could be in a prayer group. It doesn't have to be pagan, but for some of you, I'm picking up very strongly. This is about possibly inviting in a new high priestess or high priest to the fold, and you're considering 2 options. And as I say that, the song Play with Fire comes on in the background. So confirmation right there. Princess of Cups. Some of you are friends in this group. There's also someone in the group who is a little less emotionally mature than the others. Take that how it resonates. Doesn't mean that necessarily it's the younger person in the group. It could just be somebody who is less emotionally mature. Because the song Play with Fire and all the energy, I mean, you're going to get a little chaos here and there sometimes, depending on what kind of fire you're playing with. Alright, so what kind of advice, let's go back to this, we'll just call you the government group. I don't know if that's super hip or not, don't care, that's just the word that's coming through. We got Strength card, which is the card of courage, bravery, and freaking leadership, and also kind of a pack mentality. A lot of strength rules Leo, right? A lot of Leos I've known tend to run in packs. They like big families, or they have large social groups, and they tend to be kind of the heart of the group, you know? So Spirit's saying something about, we'll just say the government group or whatever. You're looking for strong leadership. You're looking for somebody fierce, and that whichever candidate you're looking at is the one that's going to come out more strong. We got the Tower card. Somebody who can deal with unexpected change really well. Somebody who can be in any environment and transform. So what other advice can we give as far as narrowing down which potential candidate this could be? Because I don't want to get too specific. I'd like to move on from these energies. We'll see. The Prince of Cups. One option is more charming than the other. What do you have to say about this charming person, Spirit? The World. Well, they would do really well on center stage. If this does have to do with politics or somebody who needs to be in the public eye, possibly a speaker, especially with the star earlier, this could be somebody you're looking for that can handle being on the world stage. Take that as it resonates. If you are aware that you are a candidate for this kind of opportunity and this rings true, then you're getting a perspective of what the group is going through right now. Which candidate you are, I can't really say. I could look into that more, but I'm not going to. So yeah, this particular group, whether you want to call it government, politics, public figures, speaking, some kind of like position that's going to be seen. You're looking for a strong candidate, and you are, one of these candidates is more charming than the other, which could be good for the public eye, depending on what your agenda is, right? Doesn't hurt to have a little charm. What can we say about this other person that is a little less charming? What does this group need to know about? Not saying the other person isn't as charming, it's just one stands out more than the other. So what about the other, Spirit? The Ace of Wands. Wow. I just got chills. Well, look, it's going to be up to you. Sure, this other candidate that we were just talking on is very charming. But this other one that is a little less out there, they're the Ace of Wands. They are divine inspiration. If you're looking for somebody who is passionate, who's going to take this fiery project to the next level, go with the Ace of Wands. I'm not giving you official advice. Again, I have a disclaimer in my description box. But if you're looking for somebody to inspire others, especially on stage, go with the Ace of Wands. Go with the one that is slightly less charming. That is what Spirit is trying to say. Because in the end, what they have to offer is a lot more powerful. And if you're looking for a strong character with the Strength card here, you're looking for somebody who can shine, but who can lead, who can inspire, well then, whichever one is the less charming option is what Spirit is telling you to make your decision on. Now, I hope that brought you some clarity. If you'd like to book personal, you know where to go in the description box. So let's talk about this spiritual group over here, because I feel like that was for that group. As far as picking we'll say a spiritual leader, to not be so exclusive with the pagan titles, somebody who can lead your spiritual troops, so to speak. Does this group also have two options, or is there anything we can really speak on about it, Spirit? What do you have to say? The Moon. Interesting. That's private, apparently. That's secret. That's hidden. Oh, 3 of Cups. Okay. There could actually be 3 potential people that you are considering leading this group. But whoever it is, you're looking for somebody who actually almost has the opposite of what this other group we were just talking on. Somebody who's a lot more deals with the subconscious, the hidden, the deep. Somebody who knows how to work in the dark, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I just mean like maybe work with the moon. Perhaps you're Wiccan and you celebrate moon goddesses. I don't know. Somebody who might work at night more often, or is a night owl, or perhaps you get together more at night and you need somebody who can be flexible with that. I'm picking up. Tell me more about this 3 of Cups. The King of Swords. What about this King of Swords? The 10 of Wands. Interesting. I'm getting a download. Give me 1 second, please. Too many cards, Spirit. On the 10 of Wands, I got the 7 of Swords. Tell me more about the King of Swords. The 5 of Swords. 3 of Cups, Spirit. The 4 of Wands. For some of you, there is some kind of church or official meeting place that you go to, and something has occurred there, something that was not fair, caused a lot of burdens. Some people, I'm sensing this could have to do with the justice over here for this particular group, some kind of battle. It seems that somebody in this trio, because I am getting 3 potential people, somebody betrayed the group and then walked away, and it created a huge burden. It seems like there's still some kind of foundation here, or this is literally a group that gets together in a church, or again, some kind of meeting place. There's some kind of spiritual foundation, some kind of place of practice. For some of you, it could be out in the woods on private land. I don't know. Yeah, for those of you that are more pagan leaning, I'm sensing that. And it's a sacred place. I can tell you that much. And it seems like somebody tried to corrupt it, and it caused a lot of problems. I don't know how that was done. I am just picking up on that energy. And then they walked away here with the 7 of Swords. This was some kind of betrayal, and it seems like some of you are waiting for justice on it. Which means there are 2 other energies here. So possibly this was the prior leader, or one of the people that was in charge in some kind of way. Someone who seemed kind of cold and detached, kind of quiet, maybe a little secretive. I'm picking up on that. So tell me about the 2 other people here in this trio with this group. So these are 3 potential contenders. It seems like the theme is y'all picking people for your groups here to lead. Whatever is best for the group, right? Okay, tell me about these 2 other people. First person, 3 of Wands, interesting. Second person, the Emperor. Whoo! I just got full chills. Full chills. Okay. Again, so much freaking fire with this group. I swear I've almost got the entire suit on the table here. And the Emperor, it rules Aries, rules fire. Can also be Sagittarius or Leo. I don't typically call out zodiac signs because it isn't really relevant, because we're not doing sign-specific readings. And but if it applies to people you might know or a part of your chart, then by all means apply it. 3 of Wands is a card of expansion and travel. Some kind of integrated spiritual practice. But the Emperor over here, the Emperor leads. The Emperor is the ultimate authority. Like, they rule with an iron fist. So it's possible that the 2 other contenders is somebody new who's expanding to a higher consciousness, a higher level, who's also been possibly traveling, or wants to travel and maybe spread the word, so to speak. And this other person over here in the Emperor, I get the sense that they may already be in some sense of authority with this group. So that's interesting. It seems like there's somebody already established in power with this hierarchy, and there's somebody slightly on the outside but has a very expansive potential in the group. Tell me more about this Emperor spirit. Death. Interesting. Tell me more about this 3 of Wands. 5 of Wands. Okay, well, there's a lot of competition over this expansive person. And also there is some huge change or transformation happening in the Emperor's world. This person also, with the 3 of Wands energy, could also be kind of a combative person. Let me clarify the 5 of Wands. The Hangman. No, they're not. Okay, then it is that they are of high value and high demand, and a lot of people want them, and they are flexible and able to travel and get where they need to go. So they also think long and hard, and they meditate on decisions. So they are even paced, even though they are fiery energy. We also have water here. They could be an alchemist, or an alchemist in training with fire and water. 4 of Pentacles. It seems they are looking for some kind of firm foundation, somewhere to settle and put down roots. Yeah, after a very difficult time with the Ten of Swords. That's some kind of betrayal, but it's over with. It's done. So, like, whatever they went through, it seems like they're looking for somewhere to lay their head down and settle in. That's the energy I'm getting. Let me go back over here to this Emperor and the Death card. Again, the Death card rarely ever actually deters actual death. So it's more a symbol of change and transformation, some kind of big ending. So there's some kind of big ending in this Emperor's life, who's already a figure of authority with this spiritual group. And again, if you're still from the other group and this is resonating with you, just take it from spiritual to the mundane. Apply it in mundane matters, how that could fit if it feels true to you, right? So let's see, what is some more information we can get about this change or transformation with this leader? The Queen of Cups. Well, they're either becoming a much more empathic, nurturing, loving, creative person, or they just met a divine potential counterpart or a queenly-like person. Again, apply the gender how it fits. Somebody, they're either looking to express a more feminine, softer side, or they have met a feminine that has changed their life. And again, the feminine energy could be with the masculine. We all go through all different energies at different points in our life, right? Feminine receptive, masculine active. Oh, Prince of Pentacles, Princess of Swords, and the Devil. Interesting. Those three cards just came flying out. More like they dropped out. So this is something that has been slowly coming together. Someone has been sitting back and watching, and it's been a great temptation. So I just got the vibe that that's about love. So it seems like this person in authority that's already got some kind of stronghold over this group is looking at some kind of partnership, and it's something that they have been considering for a while. It's something they've been looking into, researching, studying, and something that has tempted them or made them look at their shadow. What this has to do with the group, I'd like to know, because we seem to be going off on another thread here. Let me see, Spirit. The High Priestess. Well, I mean, come on. You know, I just picked up a side message for some of you. This Emperor knows another contender who is a real High Priestess, and it's this Queen of Cups, which is also a connection to the High Priestess card. Water, feminine energy, right? Or this High Priestess is the Emperor, and it's like they've been hiding in plain sight with the Moon card. It's very possible. This person of authority has been here. Maybe they aren't a part of the group. This is a multifaceted energy here. This is a transformative energy. This is somebody who plans well, who's in touch with their feelings, who knows how to sit back and learn a skill or two, and also knows what their illusions and boundaries and restrictions are with the Devil card over here, but they've mastered something. They've mastered some kind of form of higher knowing. For some of you, it is a deeper psychic, spiritual person. Again, if this is a pagan group, then you're looking for your high priest or high priestess. We mentioned that in the beginning. Wow, and Judgment just went flying out, but it went upside down. So let's get a little more on the Judgment card, Spirit. The Magician. I love it when the cards do that. We got the High Priestess, Judgment, the Magician. I'm getting chills on my arms. Wow, Spirit is confirming this message. This is a very powerful person who has been under judgment before, and it seems like they came out of it. It's somebody you can trust, somebody who can lead, somebody who's definitely ready for this role. So, really, it looks like you've got this side player over here who, like, is very expansive. You got somebody who's growing into an alchemist, somebody... I'm sensing a younger energy here, somebody who's maybe kind of been sowing their wild oats, but they're coming out of a hard time, but they do want a stable foundation. They are a good contender for some kind of consistency. However, if you're looking for a high priest or high priestess, you already know who it is. It's with this Emperor right here. Because not only are they the Emperor, They're also the magician and the high priestess. And there's also a lot of transformative energy here. So I'm going back to this first group with the public appearance, somebody who can transform and adapt to any environment. This energy could also apply to that group as well if you're still hanging in. It's possible this is actually one group. You could be a spiritual group that works in the public eye, and you're looking for somebody to represent your faith or whatever it is, or your contribution back to society. It doesn't have to be spiritual, it could be humanitarian. We are in a moon in Aquarius, and Aquarians do rule humanitarian causes. We were talking about the star card earlier. In the first group, we were talking about healing, and this star card also represents Aquarius, humanitarian causes, healing, right? So the general consensus across the board is we've got multiple energies here for multiple groups, but it seems like the one thing you both want is a little bit of magic. What I mean, you want somebody who's going to inspire and lead across the board here. Interesting. I'll also tell you, I put the Emperor cord. There could be some kind of cord or connection trying to connect to this Emperor, so definitely cleanse your energy. That was not a mistake when things come through like that, unless of course Spirit is mixing up my words because of mistranslation, but whatever, that's a different thing. But yeah, I pulled the Emperor over the Sun card. Okay, so that's an enlightened person. That is a confident person. That is somebody who knows how to shine their light. And again, this could be somebody who is already in a position of authority, a more masculine figure, so to speak, because that's what the Emperor is in tarot, who's either discovered this Queen of Cups / High Priestess magician, because it did talk about seeing, watching, waiting, studying, moving slowly towards. So it's possible you've been vetting this person for a while. I do feel like it's a separate person. But for some of you, for a slight group of you, this is the Emperor in feminine form. And they do have great potential and capability, but it's kind of on the down low. It's kind of secret, I sense. I'm not saying it's necessarily a secret society, but it could be. I'm not one to speak on that. You applied how it fits. Just pull the Queen of Swords. Yeah, that's protected information for some of you, and I'm just going to leave it at that. For others of you, you want to communicate something really well about this kind of position or authority. What is it that you want to communicate? What are we speaking on here? The Nine of Swords. What about the Nine of Swords? The Eight of Swords. Ouchie. That's a going backwards, not forward. And now we have the 7, 8, 9, and the 10 of Swords. Someone, I'm getting here, someone's been under heavy spiritual warfare and it's kept them in their mind. Or somebody's been under a lot of malicious gossip, slander, defamation, smear campaigns. That's the more mundane. But with this card, and we talked about this in like the last reading or so, which is linked in the description box. We talked about the Nine of Swords, this guy squatting down and being under heavy fire, and the Eight of Swords is being in a self-imposed prison. So for some of you, I'm getting a side message here that something needs to be communicated about defense, about possibly sealing up your energetic field to keep negative projections or other people's intentions from infiltrating the way you think and perceive reality. I don't know who that's for. It's somebody in the spiritual group. In the mundane aspect, this could be, again, it could be somebody needs to learn how to strengthen their mind and not let negative gossip and slander get them down. If you're vetting somebody for a public figure role, They definitely have to have a strong continence, which could be the Strength card yet again and the Star card combined, right? Somebody who can handle a lot and who shines through it no matter what. So for some of you, it's saying that somebody needs to work on this. For others of you, what are you saying? The Queen of Wands, and there she freaking is. There she is. I said she might come out. She's like the only part of this court, this fiery court of this group of people that didn't show up. So, like, she's kind of in the background. She is a key player, this Queen of Wands. She is also a natural magician. She is the one queen that will fight for you. So perhaps either this person knows how to deal with this kind of, we'll call it mental heavy fire, so to speak, and she knows how to direct it. So if you're looking for somebody to solve those kinds of problems or deal with those kinds of issues, this person is capable. Apply the person how it fits. Can be different depending on the group. We are talking about multiple energies here. What else could you tell us about this Queen of Wands and the Swords energy, Spirit? I was just drawn to the Ten of Swords over the Three of Wands energy for the spiritual group. Four of Swords. Okay, so if this is about a particular person, they are resting, they are recovering from some kind of heartbreak, but they are through it. They're rejuvenating. So they have recently been through a battle. This could be, I was drawn over here to the Three of Wands energy. This could be connected to the person that is the Three of Wands energy, who is expansive, a little bit younger energy, but not that young if they're showing up as the Queen of Wands. So it seems like you have a true decision between a Queen of Wands and an Emperor / Queen of Cups High Priestess magician. Interesting. They both, I can see why there is definitely a lot of potential across the board here. What you're going to decide from there is really what is most important to you. For this spiritual group, can we get a card, Spirit, on a common value you're looking for in your leadership? What can you tell us about that to help them make a decision? The Ace of Pentacles. Interesting. That's interesting because over here in the first group we got the Ace of Wands, and these are both like big blessing cards from Spirit. Okay, the first one, the Ace of Wands, was in regards to the person next to the other energy here that you were considering. So this Ace of Pentacles here, as far as making a decision for this other group, this is a divine blessing. Either way you go, it's divine blessing. You're working with the divine for a lot of you. This is a spiritual message, it seems, for another spiritual community, coven, church, prayer group, or some kind of society, which I'm not going to tap into too deeply because I don't want to get into those personal details. I am also a high priestess myself and believe in privacy and keeping certain things quiet, you know, using discernment. But it looks like you're building something here. Now, let's not forget we have the King and Queen of Pentacles, and I just got a download. So this King and Queen of Pentacles is an outside couple or some kind of business partnership that is funding this endeavor. So there is some kind of funding behind this spiritual group. This, we'll call it group 2, right? Because the first one was more the public figures, government, politics, whatever you want to call it, right? And again, this could all be the same message for some of you. This is going to hit people in different ways, so, you know, take it as it resonates. This is a tarot quest. This is a journey. And as I say that, the Chariot card comes out. I mean, come on. The Chariot card. The victorious, I'm on an adventure card. Yeah, someone's going places here with this. This is more than just a spiritual group. This could be some kind of foundation. We did pull out the Four of Wands card, which I did say there was some kind of foundation here. This could also be spiritual concepts put together in a group for something new. This could be something new that's very hush-hush right now because it's new in development, but it seems like there's some kind of group, some kind of, I don't want to say brotherhood, but there's some kind of camaraderie between the people in this spiritual group, right? Interesting. Jericho by Aniko just came on the playlist. Look up the lyrics of that song, okay? For those of you that are spiritual warriors, it'll resonate. Five of Pentacles over the Chariot. Interesting. What about that, Spirit? The Ace of Swords. This is the truth. Huh. For the ones that are on the outside of this group that could be funding it or creating the solid foundation, perhaps it's something as simple as they are the property owners of the estate where you practice. For those of you that I was sensing this might be gathering somewhere on private property. This could be about the providers of the space. This could be about a venue. This could be about, I don't know. I'm picking up on lots of different things. But Ace of Swords is about the truth here, okay? And we were talking about in the beginning that some kind of character here, some kind of cold, calculating person, hurt the group in some way and took off. They left it. They caused all kinds of slander, gossip, some kind of destruction of the community that was just very hurtful. And it seems like you're looking to reinvest in a new way here. And this Ace of Pentacles, this is a gift, this is a blessing, this is a new start, and you're headed towards it here victoriously. However, there's a lot of emphasis here on a lack mentality or on wounds of the past that have made you feel like you're not worthy or you're not enough. And that's not necessarily a specific message, but some people in the group might be feeling that way. It's possible that whoever got hit with this gossip and slander the most is having a hard time recovering. It's possible it's this Three of Wands, Queen of Wands energy over here. Okay, it's possible they were the one that received the worst of it, and they're also one of the contenders as a potential leader in your group. And this is the truth here with the Ace of Swords. It's also some kind of clarity, understanding, and I'm not saying that that person isn't capable of leading, but there is a lot they seem to be going through. So depending on when you want to initiate this group, when you're ready to make your decision, I'd say it seems like this Emperor or Queen of Cups, High Priestess is already ready for the position or already in some kind of place of leadership. Or it's possible this could also represent a mentor over here who is looking to guide and lead and prepare this Three of Wands energy, Queen of Wands energy for their position. That would, I'm getting chills, confirmation for some of you. It is possible that you've already made your decision on this person. You already want this person to lead, this Queen of Wands. And they are a new contender, but they're going through a lot. And it seems like they do have somebody over here mentoring them for the role. Role? Wow, interesting. The role. The rule. Song Bloody Witch just came on, by the way. The rule. Interesting. For some of you that this is more than just a coven. There, like I said, there's kind of some kind of hierarchy, structure, something I'm not supposed to talk about. But Spirit wanted y'all to know some kind of rule. Perhaps this has to do with spiritual laws. Perhaps this has to do with the 5D, not the 3D. And it all starts here in this one place. So as far as your decision in your group and your business, that's up to you. Is there anything else Spirit can tell us about this Ace of Swords, this truth, this clarity, and this Five of Pentacles energy? The Three of Swords. What about the Three of Swords, Spirit? The Lovers. This feels like it's starting to go down another thread, a little bit more personal thread. So as far as the groups go, I'm just going to say thank you so much for stopping by. If you'd like to keep listening to the message and see what else comes out, by all means, stay. But I think I'm going to switch decks here and follow this thread and read more into this Queen of Wands energy, because I'm feeling a strong pull. I feel like the other groups over here did receive what they needed to know. If you didn't, then by all means book a personal and I'd be happy to expand. Alright, so let's see here. This could be about some kind of heartbreak, some kind of union. It's possible that this person that ghosted the group broke this person's heart. It's possible they were partnership, but they were not compatible, for whatever that means. I feel like this group wants to know more about this Queen of Wands. And I feel like now we're shifting, I don't want to say paradigms, but we're shifting gears here. We're not so much focusing on the group, but more a kind of mentor-student situation here. So this might get a little more specific. We'll see. We'll see. Let me just pull one or two more cards from the Cosmic, and then I got to switch the deck up, all right? This song is called What Happens When You Turn the Devil Down. Interesting. That's possible. That is possible. What happened here is that this King of Swords tried to have some kind of relationship with the Queen of Wands. And the Queen of Wands denied this King of Swords for whatever reason, and then the King of Swords retaliated. It possibly destroyed the integrity of the group, and when they left, they made a huge scene, caused a lot of chaos, and now you're trying to rebuild. That's for some. What else could you tell me about that, Spirit? The Three of Pentacles. Okay, some kind of collaboration or third-party situation. This could have involved 3 people. I don't know what that has to do with. I don't really think that we need to read on that. But let's see what else Spirit has to say about this Three of Pentacles. The Two of Swords. I'm getting that this Queen of Wands blocked a third-party situation, and that's all I'm going to read into that. So it seems like this Queen of Wands has integrity. I don't know what the King of Swords situation is, and I'm not going to read into it. That's not how I do over here, unless it's absolutely necessary for protection to read into it, okay? So, yeah, there's some kind of block here that this Queen of Wands put up in this collaboration or this third-party situation. I'm getting the Fool. Yeah, this is a new beginning. This is a new journey. And you got the Chariot here, so this is a very victorious journey here. After a hard time. It's a leap of faith. It could also be a leap of faith for this group to assume this person into power. But, you know, I'm picking up a side message that this King of Swords tried to take this Queen of Wands' power, and it's divine justice for her to rise into power because of it. What can we say about this King of Swords and their justice, Spirit? The Prince of Swords. It's coming in swift. It's coming in quick through some kind of message. There is some kind of divine balancing that will be happening for this King of Swords. It's possible it's coming from a messenger from somebody in the group that is a little bit younger than them. Yeah. They're going to receive their divine justice one way or another, and that messenger could be Spirit. I'm not going to read more into it, but just know that justice will be served. And yes, it would be divine justice to raise this Queen of Wands into power. But it seems like there's already a High Priestess or Emperor, or both. It could be the Emperor and the High Priestess. Which, it's interesting actually, because this High Priestess is also the Magician. And for those of you that know tarot, that is the most magical, epic, divine spiritual partnership, it doesn't get more divinely, spiritually powerful than that. Okay? So, if that's one person, wow. Wow, I just got chills. You are one powerful energy, we're just going to say, because I don't even know. This could be the divine training this person. If we pull the Empress, that will confirm it for me. We pull the Eight of Cups. Interesting. Tell me more about... Oh, never mind. I get it. They're telling me to walk away. Alright, I'm not going to expand on that. Eight of Cups card walk away. I'm going to walk away from that. I'm going to heed the warning. So we're not going to read too much into that energy. All I'm going to say is it's either somebody who's in an extremely powerful position, or it is a partnership of two divine beings that are in partnership that actually lead this group, who are looking to mentor this person to come into some kind of position of power with this group and restore divine justice and balance upon it. Yeah, I just pulled the Temperance card. I mean, that confirms what I just said, because Temperance is the card of balance and divine intervention. Wow. And also, for those of you that resonate with the archetype of an earth angel, that represents an earth angel. So this energy, or this Queen of Wands, is potentially an earth angel. This is divine energy we just tapped into. This is a higher spiritual group. And I feel like I'm going to pull one more card and then switch the decks. The Six of Swords. Yeah, it's moving into calmer waters. There is a balance, a sense of harmony. So this Justice card over here, you know, we were talking about that. I'm going to pull from the Luna Editions Ethereal Visions deck, and at the bottom of the deck is the Strength card. No joke, right? This is some strong, potent, powerful energy. And then the Queen of Cups also at the bottom, and the Sun. Wow. And the Knight of Wands. And the Chariot of the Devil. Five of Wands. Alright. Yeah, okay. Someone's going to try to fight this. They don't want to see this person rise. And it's interesting because we're pulling both the Queen of Cups and the Queen of Wands energy. Eight of Pentacles. Something is being worked on here. It's possible somebody is working on stopping this from happening. So just, you know, put up your protections. What can you tell us about this Knight of Wands over here and the Devil? Five of Wands. Five of Cups. Yeah, it's somebody who is in regret, who is upset. Just like this Five of Cups, just like this Queen of Wands was. Somebody is very upset. They want to retaliate, it seems. They don't want to see this person shine. They want to stop you from moving forward on any of your plans with the Two of Wands card. Or they have been working on a plan for a while. Who is this energy spirit? Whoa, the cards just flew themselves out. And, oh, wow. Oh my goodness. First of all, the card we pulled was the Ten of Wands. So whoever this person is a burden. Or they have huge burdens on their back, or they are about to let down some burdens. For some of you, I heard they are about to start a battle that they can't win. And it's interesting because the cards just flew off to the side. The Empress, Judgment, the Well, Nine of Swords, King of Pentacles. What was I just saying about the Empress? Spirit's apparently got an answer here with the Justice card. Okay, so this whatever this Queen of Wands has been through, you might resonate with one of the last readings about the Empress about this divine feminine energy, whatever they went through made them the Empress. I feel like you could be connected to that divine feminine energy. And that was a very sacred divine union reading, the last two readings we did. Those are in the description box. I also always link the last reading in full form that we did with every new quest, so you can check out the week before at the end if you make it to the end. Anyway, so yeah, this person is very much underestimating this Queen of Wands, who is now also an Empress. So this person is actually ready to lead, and they got justice over them. So this is their divine justice, and there is judgment upon the person that is trying to take from this person and cause this kind of chaos. It is going to keep them stuck in their head with the Nine of Swords, and some kind of official change, authority figure is going to put the hammer down and put a stop to this. With the King of Pentacles, I feel a very strong, solid force coming through that is not going to tolerate this. So this Empress slash Queen of Wands in this group, they have some kind of serious form of defense. And this person, this energy, this King of Swords slash Knight of Wands character is not going to be successful. And actually, this brings us back to the cards. Let me just clear the table here a little bit. In the beginning, we pulled all that fire, right? We pulled the Seven of Wands, which is protection. It also represents divine protection, and that's the first card to come out in the spread. So this group over here, who is in the right, who is being integral, who has some kind of spiritual authority, is protecting, and they will be victorious, or they have been victorious in the past and will be again. This is a new journey. Sure, they're all a little wounded, or this person's a little wounded, but it seems like whoever this spiritual force is, or this group, they're protecting this. In fact, it seems like they've already decided that this is their ruler. Remember, we came up with rule earlier? Ruler. Seems like justice is on its way, and this energy over here that is trying to create some strike against this group or person is only causing harm to themselves, and also they're under judgment by the divine. We got judgment twice over that energy. If you don't know what divine judgment and justice is, I suggest you not dabble with spiritual matters that you know nothing about. Yeah, I just pulled the Two of Swords. Perhaps you're not supposed to have that kind of information or access. In fact, you know, I've heard, and this is going to stir some feathers, let me tell you, I have heard that if you continuously ignore the divine's warnings, and you'll know them if you are spiritual and you are in tune, whatever you use your abilities for, the divine will put you at a crossroads. They will block you. They'll give you a chance to make a decision, but at a certain point, they're just going to stop you. And I have heard that for some people or energies that continuously ignore the divine's warnings, you know what happens to those people? Other than the karmic justice of receiving back every single action they took against the people that they are receiving justice for. Some of them lose their gifts. That's from the divine. Ask yourself, is it worth it to you? What are your gifts? Perhaps you should focus on honing those instead of trying to destroy other people's positive outcomes. Because it seems like whoever this energy is, it's kind of a dark masculine and not in a sexy way. This is somebody who is prideful, arrogant, jealous, petty. They may come across as very intellectual, but they're actually really fiery, immature, in and out, not consistent. Sounds like they weren't actually a very good leader, and I know I'm going to piss some people off, but if you are this energy and you're listening, this is the divine putting you in your place. Has nothing to do with me. I am just a divine messenger. That's kind of different. And know that, yes, I am protected, so watch it. What else can we say about this situation? Some kind of advice for the group, for the other people involved who wanted to know more about this Queen of Wands. What can we tell you? The High Priestess. I mean, are you kidding me? Wow. Dude! The High Priestess. Did you just hear what the song said? This person is in for a ride. Nine of Swords is right. Man, you screwed up, buddy. Just take your freaking judgment with a grain of salt and just go crawl into the hole in which you came out of and, you know, try to like butterfly that, you know, cocoon yourself, rebirth, perhaps go into hermit mode and work on yourself like these other divine energies have in order to be in this High Priestess energy. Death. I just pulled Death card. Are you kidding me? Change. Transformation. An end to one thing, beginning to new. What did I just say? It's kind of like I'm psychic. The Three of Swords. Stop trying to betray people. You're only betraying yourself. There are so many people out there who are in these sob stories and, oh, the world is terrible to me and this and that, and they just get so caught up in their narratives they don't actually know what reality is. They just keep spinning mistruths and getting people caught up in the drama, and really all they're doing is exerting energy, and most of the time these people are energy vampires. I'm getting that strongly from this individual, especially with the Knight of Swords, or excuse me, wow, Knight of Swords. Spirit just like demoted you. Ouch. Well, Three of Swords, you know, you get what you put out there, and if you're trying to destroy people and break hearts, guess what's going to happen to you? Karmic law of equivalent exchange is totally real. It's a universal law. Also, you know, on a side note, for those of you that need a manifestation tip, I see people make this mistake a lot, and it's nothing personal. I myself, when I first started off with the craft, didn't understand the universal laws. It took me a couple years before I started to integrate them into my practice. And I had to learn my own karmic consequences when I was new, when I was a page. You know what I mean? So, when you are manifesting, or you are, say, returning to sender to protect yourself, or you are calling something in, never, ever, ever say 10 times or 3 times 3. The only time that is just and fair is when the universe declares it to be just and fair because you have accumulated good karma to receive extra back. Does that make sense? Or if you accumulated more bad karma and you deserve to receive extra back. That is the only time. But unless you have the decree and the spiritual authority to declare justice and judgment upon others, which is rare, and for those of you that know what I'm talking about, know what I'm talking about. Those of you that don't, this is not your message, and that's okay, darling. I hope you're enjoying the quest either way, all right? But it's not something to be taken lightly. So the law of equivalent exchange goes as you put out and you get back. It's pretty much the law of karma and dharma, right? Whether it's good or bad or neutral, whatever energy you put into something is what the universe is going to give back. That's not a sentiment. That is an energetic exchange. So when you say, I want this to happen and receive 10 times back, sure, you can receive 10 times back. But know that when you receive 10 times back, if you are not equal to that 10th time back, you will actually have something taken from that you already have to bring that abundance into fruition tenfold. Does that make sense? So therefore, if you are manifesting something, you say an equal exchange to that which I am putting out there, right? So if you are doing return to sender work for protection's sake, right? Especially those of you that deal with spiritual warfare, and we're going way woo-woo with this now. If you cast a return to sender 10 times back in strength to that which it's sent, you are causing 10 times the harm back to that person. Whether you think they deserve it or not, the universe knows what is just and fair, and it will balance those scales. So remember that you will accumulate negative karma, we'll call it, if you cast more than what was sent back to you. The best way to deal with that is to just not accept the energy. Don't return, just transmute. Transmute, you learn how to actually work with your power, and that is when you become a true alchemist. Okay? So I felt like that was necessary for those of you that are new to manifesting, that are new to the craft, that even practitioners who have been doing it for years don't always work with the universal laws. And I'm not trying to offend anybody. I'm here as a guide. I'm here as a spiritual teacher. So if you don't like what I have to say and you want to keep up your practices, then by all means, do things the way you want to do them. Just understand that this isn't something I've decreed. This is something the universe decreed. Okay? All right, Spirit, is there anything else you want to say about this? I kind of feel like I want to move on from this message. I don't think there's really anything else to gain from this, except, though they don't want me to tap into this Emperor, High Priestess, Magician energy, whoever's the actual leader of this group or the mentor. Is there any advice we can give this or these energies? The Ace of Swords. Oh, twice in this reading. Chills. The truth. This is the truth. Perhaps they're just backing what I'm saying. If they are High Priestess, Magician, Emperor, then they know exactly what I'm talking about. This is the truth. Everything I just said about manifesting, about equivalent exchanges, I hope you all have complete clarity. And also for those of you that are struggling with manifesting, this is a side message that I'm starting to channel in. Those of you that are struggling with believing in it and are tempted to ask for more in hopes to get more faster, again, remember, if you cannot redivert your assets to make something work, then you need to find a way to build more assets to work around, so to speak. That could be energetic or mundane, okay? That's just... we'll call it energetic, appropriate organization. I don't know. I don't know. It's a formula. Just take it or leave it. So it's kind of like ingredients. You know that you have to put a certain amount of flour in a cake. You have to put a certain amount of eggs. You have to put a certain amount of sugar. And depending on the flavor of the cake, you have to put a certain amount of that in there. And while you definitely can add 10 times the sweetness to a cake, and you can make it your own thing, and you can get more sweet, you can get more sugar high, whatever. You can do that, but is it what the cake actually needs? No. Also remember that what you demand more of, it may actually take from you. So don't go draining yourself either, trying to cast these grand plans, but having no way of actually physically executing them. Just pull the Six of Swords. All right. So we're going to move away from this message. That is the divine saying that remember what keeps you in balance, and also that they are guiding you through this process. Always call upon the divine if you need guidance in your craft. And also the same applies for Christians and other spiritual folks. This doesn't have to be pagan, but it seems like this particular group I was picking up on today is. And I hope that I was able to include you more, because it seems like, you know, us pagan folk don't always get read on unless it's about some kind of drama. And it doesn't always have to be drama. It doesn't always have to be politics. You know, really, for those of us that are in it, to be in it for spiritual connection and expansion and growth of consciousness, are in it for the expansion of that, right? Not for material gain. Though for those of us that know, when you are manifestors, or you are pagan and you cast spells, or you're a prayer warrior and a Christian, you are asking for something. And unless you take physical steps towards actually obtaining that thing you're asking for, all you're doing is hoping and praying and wishing, right? So just be like really clear on what you want, and the best way to do that is to visualize it before you actually take action. But if you only visualize, well, yes, that is a form of mental witchery that you can do for manifesting. You still have to ground your plan into some kind of sense of reality. We had this King of Pentacles twice over here. Yeah, some of you are master manifestors and you know exactly what I'm talking about. I don't think I need to explain that much further. But for some of you, there is some kind of, you need to ground yourself more in order to obtain that which you want to bring into the physical. Okay? Because we all can exist in the 5D all the time, and unless you're a channel like me, it's not good to always be. And even I, as a channel who works with the spiritual, has human time. You know what I mean? Like, it's about balance and temperance. We were talking about that earlier. Okay? Is there anything else you'd like to add to the spirit? And then I think we might pull a card from one of my oracle decks and maybe read into that psychically. So we got a lot of cards on the table here, let me tell you. I think we will wrap this up very soon. Oh yeah, definitely wrap it up soon. Okay. For those of you that stuck through, thank you so much. You really rock. Like, definitely leave a, let's leave a sword emoji in the comments if you, you resonate with this super magical message today. All right, and then I know that you actually made it this far, and I really appreciate your engagement. If you're catching the shorter form version of this, you know, I appreciate you too. The contribution to the channel does help it grow, and I am building spiritual community here, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Hopefully I'll get to chat with some of you on the live premiere of this reading. All right, one last message, Spirit, and then we're going to move on. The Seven of Pentacles. It's time to invest in what you are building and also have patience for that which you've built. For some of you that are manifesting, let it go, walk away. I know it's harder, but it's a skill that you can hone eventually. Eventually you learn how to live in non-attachment. Therefore, that which you put out there comes back to you easily and effortlessly. Okay? So some of you practice on finding ways to focus on other things you can invest in while your manifestations are coming in, while the fruits of your labor are getting ready to bloom. Okay? I hope that helped everyone. If you would like to stay for a read on the archetypes deck, which is what I seem to be pulling, please do. For those of you that are interested in some of the channeled angel numbers, songs, other signs and synchronicities I read into before I began this reading, I will mention those here shortly. And perhaps something about it will give you a synchronicity that will show you that this reading is really for you. You can confirm it, you can claim it in the reading, in the comments. Also, a side message as I shuffle archetypes here. For those of you that didn't catch the last message, I did clip one of the parts of the last message in it about this beautiful divine union. And I don't know if those of you that have been following me know that my messages tend to go deeper down the rabbit hole later in the message. I think that's the way of spirit kind of weeding out the more mundane folk who the messages are not meant for. So we do tend to get a lot more woo-woo the deeper we go into the message. But this is coming up because I clipped one of my quotes from a channeled message from that reading. And the quote was, and this is pinned in the comments of the last blog that has this reading shared with the shorter form messages, the last message. Sorry if that's confusing, but hang with me. I got a lot of energy coursing through me all of a sudden. This song by Tool is talking about the shadow, okay? 46 and 2 is the song. Could be relevant to some. It's one of my favorite old songs. But, oh my God, so are you kidding me? I just split the deck to the shadow and the hunter. Wow, I just got chills. Whoo! The vessel and gnosis below that. Okay, wow, this is powerful, whatever this is coming in. Okay, so the name of that clip was You Prayed for a Love That Would Love Your Shadow. If that sentence rings true to you, check out the last full form reading or the last 2 videos in the 4-part series, okay? Go to the community blog. It's the last post before this one. But we just pulled the Shadow and the Hunter. I mean, you can't make that up. That's beautiful when that happens. And then the Vessel and Gnosis, it's like someone has been looking for somebody to hold this kind of knowledge. Well, by all means, if this message made you feel inspired, made you feel some sense of deeper meaning, I am so grateful that you are here. I really hope you subscribe because, you know, the older I get, the more woo-woo we go. And I'm totally okay. I've reclaimed that word woo-woo. I don't care if people have a negative connotation with it. It's beautiful. It is the deep. It is the hidden. It is the unknown. And I am here to channel it to y'all. So, I was going to do a psychic read on these cards, but it feels like Spirit really wants me to read from the book, The Shadow, which is XXB123, so that would be 28. 28. So the number 28 could be significant. The number 10, 1, 0, 2, or 8. Interesting. Partnership, abundance, completion, new beginnings. And I just opened the book to the vow card. Some kind of promise. Something you've been looking for here with the Hunter. Again, as I was just saying with that quote from my reading, was you prayed for a love that would be kind to your shadow. You have been looking for this for a long time. I feel like this is a separate message for any of you who were here from the last reading that were more interested in a divine love message. This is just for you, it seems. And I thank you for, if you did actually just sit through that entire reading, wow, thank you so much for still being here. I know so many people just don't have the patience to enjoy this, but this is an experience. This isn't a product, you know what I mean? I've said before and I'll say it again, I'm here to create, not to supply readings. So the Shadow, it's on page 116 and 117. So January 16th, January 17th could be significant. 11 could be significant. That's the number of Metatron, Archangel Metatron. I do work with archangels along with other gods and goddesses and creatures and fairies and all that. So like, anyways, 11, Metatron. That can also represent union, and like what's beyond a new beginning, right? 6, 7, that's a progression. The year 67 could be significant. January 6th or January 7th could also be significant. Number 13 could be significant. Karmic cycles could be significant. Divine feminine, luck, that could all be significant. All right, now from the book, I don't typically read the entire page because I like to encourage people to go out and purchase these decks. And for those of you that don't know, the Archetypes deck is phenomenal. Kim Kranz did such an amazing, she's got multiple other decks. Eventually I plan to get the Alchemy deck as well. So for those of you that enjoy these kinds of more spiritual channeled messages I do with this deck, just you wait. Just you wait. That's going to be fun. I'll eventually gift myself that deck, or, you know, I don't mention this too often, but I do have donation links in the description box, and everything you contribute, I do actually put back into the channel, so thank you. That's how I was able to get the Luna Editions deck and get myself a microphone. You know, my channel's small, but, you know, we're going to see where we go with this, so thank you if you decide to contribute. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Alright, so I'm not going to read the whole page, but let's see what stands out to me. So it's the unspeakable, the unwelcome, and the denied. Woohoo! We really are getting into the shadow here. All right. On the side here. Interesting. Contemplate the following scientific observation. The closer an object, a person, place, or community is to the light, the longer the shadow it casts. Okay, well, that was very specific to this group. Interesting. Some of you have very high standards, and remember the precedents that you are setting in your community. That's all I'm going to say about that. Over here we have, it says, in the shadow of the gods are the very gods themselves. Huh. Reflect on this statement by James Hillman in A Blue Fire. What do you despise about yourself? By answering, you move toward shadow. And I will add, darlings, that when you move through the shadow, eventually you also find the light again. So for those of you that are afraid of getting lost in the shadow, perhaps it's not about being afraid of your shadow, but actually learning who your shadow is. And the only way you can do that is by going within, by looking at your behavior, by sometimes, again, with this perspective change, like we were talking about with the first quote here in this book, is about expanding beyond the perspective of what's good and bad and just doing what's right and fair and balanced. That's true justice, right? Justice isn't all light or all dark. It's being able to maintain that neutral ground and to access each appropriate energy at the appropriate time in the appropriate way. That's true alchemy. Eat the appropriate. I just got 2 downloads on that. On the dark is energy vampirism, and on the light is I just had it. Where did it go? Maybe I'm not supposed to talk about that. Oh, okay. On the light is sin eaters. Look into the mythology of sin eating. It's very interesting, especially with Celtic communities. For those of you that have seen the show Outlander, which, by the way, love that freaking show. And I do need to read the books, but I love everything about that as an herbalist and a witch, and I love the time travel and all that kind of stuff. But anyways, I'm going off on a nerd tangent. There is, I believe, I want to say it's season 6 or something, where there is an actual portrayal of a sin eater at the church. So those of you that have seen it, you can drop a comment and confirm and go more into it, start a conversation or something. But that's coming through for some reason, because, it's like the light and the shadow of energy consumption, right? There are those that may look like they are of the light who will drain your light by stealing your energy. And then there are those that are of the light, but they look like they are of shadow, who will take negative energy to heal you. And I just got chills. So remember that. That's significant for some of you in your healing process, okay? And if you'd like to work one-on-one with me, receive more guidance, right now I'm just doing some pre-recorded readings and occasionally rare live over-the-phone slots, but we're building something here. We're building a community, so definitely keep following, All right, so let me see what else is in this book, if there's anything else, and then we're going to wrap it up. The song is called Mirror World by The Shroud. The Shroud, are you kidding me? By the way, that's an amazing goth band that I absolutely love that not a lot of people know about. The Mirror World, okay? Some of you are mirrors, some of you are empaths, some of you are activators. We talked about that a little bit at the end of the last reading, who are considered more divine and with a higher purpose in the spiritual world. Some of you reflect back other people's shadow. I personally am somebody who does this as a psychic medium empath. I didn't know I was doing it my whole life, and I will go into that more some other time. I also do occasional freeform, uncut audio documentaries, and I go into everything. All right, I'm an advocate also for wellness as far as mindfulness and emotional intelligence and coping through life, keeping your balance, okay? But I'm not a medical or mental health professional, so definitely seek those out if you feel like you need them while you're doing this work. You can also go to other spiritual communities. If you aren't on the woo-woo, but you're very intrigued by this message, there's other spiritual counseling and ways that you can access this. You can do this by getting into something artistic, something tangible. You can channel the shadow through artwork, through music, through writing, through some kind of self-expression that pulls your inside out. Does that make sense? Okay. So, you're not limited, whoever you are. You have many options, especially in this world. If there's one thing that most of us have, especially in America, it's choices. You may be overwhelmed by those choices, but you start discovering who you are by knowing what you like and what you don't like, and then you can go deeper from there, okay? And you're not alone. You're never alone. Spirit is always with us, and you will find your soul family if you haven't yet. A lot of people I work with are going through spiritual awakenings, are having a second or a third or a fourth one. I personally have had 3 and a recent massive ascension, which I won't go into. I'm not ready to talk about it. But you all are working with these kinds of energies, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. That's who this message is for. If you are a mirror and you weren't aware, 9 to 9 on my clock, by the way. That's ascension, that's graduations, especially with partnerships, unity, some kind of ending. So some of you are at the verge of coming out of some kind of ascension, and you have some kind of unity that you can go to with this, whether that's someone like me who is a guide that you receive some kind of message from that helps you keep going strong, or it could be with spirit, or it could be with a partner, it could be with your crafts. You could deeply bond with your crafts, and it could bring out different parts of yourself. You could be coming into unity with the divine masculine and feminine of your own self. There's so many possibilities. I don't feel like I should read any more from the shadow. In fact, I feel like we should really leave it there. And I thank you everyone for being here today, truly. It blew me away how much support our community received in the last week. I've been working diligently for 6 years to build this community, and it wasn't until the last year that I fully stepped up to my purpose. And I've got a Taurus North node, so I am very slow moving in my approach, but I am on my destined path, and I am here to help guide and lead others from a higher spiritual perspective. And seeing the fruits of my labor come in, I'm getting a little weepy. I'm going to try not to get all sappy, but when I say I appreciate you, I freaking mean it, guys. So thank you. And for every one of you who blesses others, may you be blessed. And have a wonderful week. Stay tuned for those short form versions of this message. And to those of you that made it all the way through, you're a real gem. I appreciate you. This is Ellie, signing off. Bye, darlings.